I like that one. Yeah. You are listening to the Lost Minds. You say it, that sounds better.
You are listening to the Lost Minds podcast.
Let's get this session started with a deep breathing exercise. And by deep breathing exercise, I mean, see on the inside.
Hello.
What are you doing? Just making a podcast.
Bet your ass cool. How about now?
Sounds better now.
Much better because I don't have my headphones.
I kind of can't hear myself though.
Ooh.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah. That sounds much better. Actually, just getting out of headphones.
Welcome back to the London Bridges.
Thanks for listening to Londonburg.
Bait and switch.
But back to the typical
Snap back
goodness.
to reality.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes Rabbit. Oh.
Okay, can we just stop with the fake news?
What? Fake news? I got some fake news for you.
Oh, God.
I just want to talk about it because I didn't want to, but at the same time, it was funny because after it happened, my mom was like, yeah, we should probably just not tell anybody about this. and in my mind, I was like, oh my God, I'm like thinking about it. I'm like,
Wait, tell what? About what?
a story, alleged story that's, yeah, there we go. Good looking out.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, allegedly my mom was like, we probably shouldn't tell people about this. And I was like, it's probably something I should tell on the podcast. And she's like, no. So I have to tell her. I was like, but yeah, allegedly my mom was like asking me about animals. And so yeah, there's a cat we had, and you can pretty much go where this story's going. But yeah, so it was like dead-ish, but still living. I mean, it still breathe. It's like, well, I feel bad. So it's a cat that's outside. It's like a 20-year-old cat, I guess. And it was like kind of dying already. It was like having weird like zombie cat moments where it was like throwing up blood and shit. And it had like fucked up, like I think it got maybe messed up in a fight or hit by a car or something. But it was like fucked up and like had like pus hanging off its face and shit. And my mom was like,
What kind of cat was it?
A zombie cat. It wasn't a real cat. This is a fake story. This is fake news. This is it. So allegedly, my mom was like, brick. She's like, I have a favor to ask if it's okay. And I was like, yeah, I know what's up. And she's like, that cat outside, she's like, it's just like sick. It's like dying. It's like going to get the other cat sick. It's going to get the other dog sick.
It's going to zombify him.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. And so I was like, well, and she's like, we just need to take care of it. And I'm like, well, it's going to die or whatever. And she's basically, yeah, no, we just got to like do something. And so allegedly I was like, all right, so I dug a hole. And
You're just going to bury it?
No. I remember I told you, maybe I told the story on this podcast about my friend, how he shot a horse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little similar to that. So we like allegedly dig this hole that was in this field out in the middle of nowhere that looked a lot like a backyard, similar to one we know. And like dig the hole out. And so my mom or this person allegedly lays the cat in the hole. And so I was like, all right, I'll just pull out my Red Ryder 22 BB gun. And fucking some
a BB gun?
Yeah, 22 BB gun. And
So it's a real 22 BB gun.
so she like sits it in the hole, and I'm like, all right, and I'm just pointing it over there, and like right as she sits in the hole, the fucking thing like goes to jump out, and I was like, bah! It's like, goo! And it like hits like in the arm, like in the stomach, and like fucking hops out of the hole. I'm like, fuck! It starts like kind of going out of the way, and I'm just like, pull another BB out, and I'm like, fucking hey, load it back in there. And it's like barely walking across the backyard. I'm like, fucking drop it, dude. It's like, I'm like, oh fuck, dude. And so my mom's like, oh my God. I like pull it and I like put it back in the hole, and I'm like, fucking third time's charm, put it in there to make sure it was like done. I'm like, fuck. Start like burying it up and everything like that and shit. I'm like, I was traumatized from this allegedly. And like, I'm like, oh my God, dude, I can't believe I'm like, third time's a charm, I guess, and shit. And then, my mom was like, oh my God, how was it? She like could hear everything. She's like, oh man, all right. I mean, she's like, at least it's done, because it was just causing me stress. So, like, I don't even know. Maybe it was like 10 minutes later, I seen her ass, and she's like, hey, Trace Hombre, hey, man, can you help me with this, whatever? I'm like, what the fuck? And the next time I see her, she's like, hey, third time's a charm, am I right? Hey, can you help me? Every time now she's seen me, like, she's like, hey, Triple Pete, what's up? And I'm like, what the fuck? Third time's a charm. I'm like, oh, my God, dude. So not only do I have to allegedly live with missing this cat twice.
This nickname.
That's my new nickname, Triple Shot Pete, or Trace Hombre, or Third Time's a Charm, or I don't even know the other ones that she came up with.
Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, that's a good one. Shit, because I missed it.
And now it's haunting your house.
Yep.
Halloween ghost stories.
Well, it was funny. A long time ago, that cat used to be in the house, I guess, and like we had Geek Squad come over, or like the cable company come over way a long time ago, and they had to go like underneath the house or downstairs under the house, and like the guy like went down there to go to pull the cable or something, and the cat was down there on the other side of the stair, and it like caught him on it, so he went to go up the stairs, and the cat was sitting there, and he's like, and the cat's like hissing at him and shit, and it's like up on the stair a little bit higher, and he's like, oh shit, and he's like, excuse me, and the cat's like on the stairs like like scratching and hissing and shit, and he's like, oh, your cat's in the hall. He's like, I don't want to like kick it or nothing, and I'm like, oh fucking, so I go down and like push it out of the way. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, God, it's like, reminds me of Pet Cemetery, dude. And he like runs up the stairs like by. I'm like, what the hell? I'm just not a pet fan. I'm like, oh man, the guy's scared of a cat. And so
yeah, but it's a fucking zombie cat.
Yeah.
to cement my
Pus coming out of its eyeball.
It's probably a zombie cat now. Well, that was the worst part, because at first I was like, well, no, it's fine, I'm like, oh, let it run its course, it's a fucking animal. So it was like kind of bleeding at its face too, and so I'm like, go to look at it, and I'm like, it's weird, it's like it's breathing out of its face. I'm like kind of like checking it out, and my mom was like, yeah, there's white stuff on its face. Yeah, fucking, those were like not. It wasn't like white shit. It was like little white shits. It was little maggots like crawling around.
Larva.
And so when I seen her face, I'm like, it looks like it's breathing. It was fucking little things like moving in and out of it. So like the next day when I seen it, I'm like, oh, maybe it's, it was there on the outside eating the dead flesh or something, 'cause that happens. But
they were on the inside?
They were like going in on out, like, because it was like a sore, and I could like her body like started having like sores on them.
So it was already dead.
Cat was like 20 years old. Oh my God, yeah, it was like skin and bones. It was missing half its fur, no teeth, fucking blind. Dude, I remember back before it was dying, like a couple years ago and stuff, I'd come over and shit. I'd like pull in my mom's house and then fucking be sitting out in the road. And I'm like, get out of here. I'd be sitting there looking around. I'm like, what the fuck? I like pick it up, move it over. It just sits there. I'm like, how does it seem like you hit by a car? No sight, no sound, just old shitty cat. But dude, that's what I was kind of surprised with, because after I got it and it was still going, I'm like, damn, this cat is fucking strong. It survived alleged 22 BBs that were leaded. Fucking, like, it survived, a million different, like, I've seen in like 10 years ago, this thing had a cut on its face, and it was like, it had a size of like a lump the size of its own face, and I had just seen it, and my mom's like, oh, that outside cat keeps getting in fights and whatever, and so I was out there, I'm like, oh, and I'm like, damn, come here, coax it over and looking at it, I'm like, holy shit, this thing has got a big ass face, and I seriously grabbed it right behind its head and barely pushed my hands on the side of its face, and that cut was like some infected cut, and like pus, it was like a little bit just popped right out, and it like kind of popped right under my hand. I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, fuck it, I'm already like halfway there. So I just started squeezing it, and like literally like the amount of pus that came out of her face was like the pus that was the size of her face. It was like one of those cyst videos when you see the guy cut the cyst and it just keep popping out of there and it's like bubbling out. It's like blah, blah, and like blood and shit's like coming out with it. I'm like, oh my God. Like huge, like thick cottage cheese amount comes out. Fucking wipe it off and shit, and it's got like this weird kind of like
really
flap on its face.
Nobody's eating right now.
Oh shit, it's bad. Yeah, because like we went like flat, and it like had like a weird like little like flap kind of, because where like the skin was like fatter, and now I could see his little beady eye, and I was like, Marr! And like it didn't even cry, and while it walks off and shit, and I'm like, that cat's dead. Fucking, that thing was still living, dude, still going. Even now after that shit, I'm like, that dude, cats have seriously 9 lives, dude. Cats, like. I feel like I think of myself as like an 80-year-old man and shit like that. Like, I guess imagine that's how that cat would be. I'm like just like throwing up blood. I have no fucking teeth. I can't see and shit like that. And then like someone tosses me in a hole and then shoots me. And then I get out of the fucking hole and start running, dude. That's a tough fucking old man. That would never happen. I'd be like, oh God. I'd be like laying there. Like that cat's like, fuck you. I'm fucking out of here. I was like, dude, word up, dude. Good looking out. Too bad, third time's a charm. You would have made it. But, I guess for Halloween, it's good. It's
a good scary story.
had to do something for Halloween. You know, I'm like, well, I can't. I'm handing out candy.
Now you've
like
got it
laying.
hanging above your doorway, right? For like a decoration?
Just the bleached skull. That's all I kept from it. Better than, dude, my mom was sitting here trying to tell me, she's like, just put it in a baggie.
Oh.
I'm like, put it in a bag. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, can you just put it in a bag? And she's like, would you mind? Like, I think that's what like, just hold it, you know?
What?
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, that is for what I told to. I'm like, I'm not doing anything unless I know it's for sure. Whew. Guess it wasn't right. What was that? Fucking no, it was for surely off twice.
Yeah.
But that was how my week went, for the most part.
My week was no funner than that.
At least we went shooting yesterday, too.
We did go shooting yesterday.
I probably should have done it the other way around. We went out, practiced, and then...
And you still failed.
then came back with the BB gun.
No, but what did we do? Yeah, we went shooting yesterday. That was pretty fun out at the range. We set up, like, it was kind of funny. We set up a bunch of targets on the wall, and I walk up with the AK, and I'm just like, bang, 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 and I hit all of them. I'm like, woohoo! It's pretty good. I felt, you know when you feel accomplished? When you like do something and everything works? That's how I felt. I don't feel like that every day. Most days I feel like I'm failing miserably until I go to bed. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to succeed in this pretty good. And then I wake up the next morning feeling shitty. I'm like, dang, I must have slept really bad. I can't even sleep right. I'm a failure at that. And then, you know what I do to make myself feel better? I take a couple happy pills. Couple Xannies. Pop a couple energy drinks. Couple shots of vodka.
Good night.
Boom. Out for another 3 hours.
Do you sleep well ever or never? Do you feel like you have insomnia, or do you feel...
I think I have insomnia. I can never wake up in the morning feeling good.
I know something that can cure that.
What's that?
Oh, the marijuana.
Well, you know me, Brick. The only thing I stick to, as far as drugs go, is energy drinks.
Yes, sugar.
Sugar.
Stick to sugar. That's one thing, too. Yeah, people have always asked me about that stuff, about you and stuff like that. And usually I'm like, dude, if it comes to smoke, just in general, I've never seen you take, like, never a cigarette, never a cigar, never hookah, never weed, never smoke. Smoke is never usually, like, that's the one thing that kind of trips me out about smoking and stuff, because I know, like, anything that goes in your lungs outside of oxygen is bad. And so,
Like farts.
yeah, or if you're breathing some chemical warfare.
Like right now. Oh, God damn.
But even in, like, the long run, that's got to be good for you. A little carbon matter, you know, get a little particle, a little fiber.
Yeah, a little bit of other people's gut germs.
Are they real germs, or are they just particles in the simulation?
I think they're particles in the simulation, dude. I honestly, I want to say there's a 1 in 10 chance that we're not in a simulation.
What would be the one?
That we're not. One would be that this is real life, and like this is how it is. This is the base life. 1 in 10, in my opinion.
So
9
would be the first before they created the simulation. Okay.
But there's 9 chances that it is a simulation, in my opinion.
9 different reasons, or just you thinking 9 out of 10? Just
9 out of 10 that we are in
chance.
that we are in a simulation.
What would make you think that, huh?
Well,
Some kind of computer programmer?
just because I don't know. It's just how I feel.
What you heard?
Just what I hear. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos confirming it.
Dude, there's nothing wrong. People will rip on YouTube, but you always hear it, like, there's like the joke, people, where'd you get that YouTube? And that's, I think Eddie Bravo was like, where'd you get your facts? Fucking library.com. You know, it's like everything comes from the internet. YouTube's the second most popular search site ever, you know? So outside of Google, what's the next biggest search engine? YouTube. And it's videos, you know? And so basically when people where do you get from that? Fucking half the United States, more than half. Everyone gets either from Google or from there, you know, and you can get it from Wiki where people can control it, or you can maybe just, you know, pull in, like I like to try and do as many different sources as possible, but even when it comes to it, you know, Google and all those places, they'll like taper down whatever the hell you're trying to search.
My favorite website is, I think it's called the Library of Babel. Where,
that's what you were telling me about.
Where it's like an infant. It's basically some dude created an algorithm that it's got different rooms, and each room's got 4 bookshelves. Each bookshelf's got 4 shelves on it. Each shelf's got like 20 books, Each book's got 500 pages, and everything's randomly generated in the entire archive, basically. It's got millions and millions and millions of rooms. And you can go in there and you could search by word or by book or by phrase or whatever. And it'll find the exact same book that accidentally rendered that saying. So let's say you want to say, like, today we podcasted at this time, and you search that phrase, it'll find the book that accidentally rendered that. Because all the books are randomly generated. So one of the books will randomly generate, today we podcasted at this time. And it'll be highlighted in there somewhere. So you can search that book, and it'll find that book in a certain room, on a certain shelf, and on a certain page. And I could share that book with you, and you can go through and read the exact same book and find that saying or where it read that. And
honestly, I feel like you've showed me that. I feel like I've looked. And is it like when you go to the website, it's almost like RuneScape looking graphics, where it's kind of like shows the actual like a bunch of like library cases.
Yeah.
I think I have seen that. That's actually pretty dope.
You could click on individual rooms and then click on individual bookshelves and then individual books and read through them. But they're just like random. It's like somebody told you to just, here's a keyboard, just smash keys constantly, all day, 24/7. And basically the computer rendered everything already out. Everything is already pre-rendered. All you got to do is go in there and find it.
Isn't it like an evolution and religious type thing too? Remember, because like how they said, you could have a bunch of apes in a room and they could slam on a keyboard a bunch of times, and statistically, with affinity, they'd eventually, type up either this Encyclopedia Britannica or like the Holy Bible or whatever, random.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time itself, I guess, and that would be infinity. So, are you trying to find God in your life?
I've already found him.
You're like, I am him, he is I.
Well, in my opinion, I think God is a computer. So when if you go and read the Bible, and then the Bible says in the beginning, God created so-and-so, I think that is a computer waking up.
What about a programmer?
But how come computers haven't been around?
Because we haven't invented them. Well, they technically have been around since the very beginning, because we're in a simulation. So when the simulation first started is when the Bible says on the first day. So like the AI created the world and everything. So the computer was creating us like as a program.
So this is how your Bible sounds when you open the book.
Yeah. I think it's, what's his bucket, the stand-up comedian.
56K.
No, it was high speed, dude. No,
I'm in heaven. I have high speed cable.
What's his bucket? We listened to him when he came here with Joey Diaz.
Oh, Duncan Trussell?
Yeah. Because he talks about it, and he's like, if you change God's name to programmer in the Bible, it sounds like a programmer wrote the whole thing.
Which is kind of psycho. Like, not psycho, but like, what do they call it? Psychedelic. Like, if you think of it like that, like, it kind of, I guess, it would be just, if you start off path, like, hey, life starts from this path, and then you barely just start a little bit different, so say it's a programmer. Really, when you think of life now, it would make everything seem so much different. Like, with everything changing, instead of it being, oh, this is God's hand, this is things like, oh, this is, if they're trying to recreate something in the past.
Well, there's even video games, they're like evolution games, basically, and it asks you to create a thing, but you've only got three like squares you can work with in a circle, and the animal you create is just a stupid like little square circle triangle thing, and its objective is to make it from point A to point B, and it tries to move, and then it slowly shapes the triangle or the square or the circle a little bit every time to get the most optimum moving, like to get itself moving from point A to point B. So from point A to point B, the first generation probably won't move anything. Then the second generation will move a little bit. Third generation, by the time you get to like 86th generation, it's running, full sprint running across from A to B. It just keeps going, and it keeps getting better and better. And the computer is doing this by itself. It's just, what made me move a little bit better last time? Okay, if I change this, and it
figuring it out,
figures itself out, and then eventually you've got this. Every time, most of the time, it's different when you render the program, the simulation, and by about 86th generation, it's moving pretty quickly to where the program can move itself across the field and get to the finish line. Then you can add like terrain or like squares that it's got to get over or obstacles, and it takes more generations then instead of just like a flat plane.
So you're just watching it?
Yeah, you just watch it.
Bring it back to the flat Earth. That probably reminds me of like if it was a simulation, then maybe it would be like a flat Earth because I imagine it simulated like
Minecraft.
Yeah, where you just like if you get too far ahead of the ice sheet, all of a sudden it's like kind of looks like fog. All of a sudden,
Well, in
it
Minecraft,
like fucking appears underneath you.
did you know in Minecraft there's actually an end wall?
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like the debug zone, and when you get there, it's a giant wall of like strange looking obstacle, like it's like looks like a sponge or something along the wall, but it's like made of black stone, and you can't.
Oh, like that bedrock shit, or whatever.
Yeah, and you could jump into it and you could keep going, but it goes forever. It's like it becomes like a wormhole.
Oh, you just keep, and then if
It just keeps going infinitely like that.
dude, that's weird. That's pretty tight. I wonder,
It's
and
pretty
that's all
cool.
it would take too for a program. And
And
like,
then,
all right,
and then
fucking-
what happens is if you keep going, your computer eventually can't handle it. Like you keep going, and then all of a sudden the game will crash. Like error, can't go any further.
that'd be crazy.
That'd
Like,
be nice.
what? Crash the simulation, then what?
Well, you would just disappear. I think if I was just like sit there and build my little dirt hut, and you went in admin mode and you flew into the zone. I don't know if they still have it. I know when Minecraft was first created, they had the end wall, and people tried to like figure out ways to get out and how far they can go, and they just go in admin mode and fly past it, and eventually your
that is
computer starts to lose frames and starts to slow down, and then the game crashes.
That's kind of a trip thinking about it too, though, with it being in a simulation where, I mean, you know, I guess eventually where it kind of like loads everything and eventually kind of does everything. Eventually, yeah, like say I go outside right now, I walk outside and go and get my car, fucking meteorite or a sinkhole, and my car just falls on the ground, I fall in there and disappear. You guys think like, oh, Bricks went home, you know, and over here it's like totally fine and shit. It's like free will, I guess, you know. So in my mind, I guess technically, even if you were in a computer simulation or a computer program, you technically have free will if it wasn't your program. Because say it was your program, say you were like the one running the game, then in that case it's not like free will. Right?
But what's to say I have free will, but I don't know if you two have free will. If that makes sense.
How do you know you have free will? Do you know who you are?
Well, because I'm
do you know you're not a
spectating
computer?
from myself. But I don't know if you two
Live
are seeing what
spectating.
I'm seeing. For all I know, you two are just AI that
NPCs.
NPCs to me.
I can say the same about you. For all I know, you're an AI.
This looks like a good old-fashioned Mexican standoff, boys.
So looking, one of us here is an AI, and it ain't I.
I think he said "I" too many times. Just everybody goes.
You probably never be able. It'd be like Ex Machina. You'd probably be able to never out distinguish the robot. You think if it became because how you're
Ex
saying
Machina, is that the one where?
it's like the AI. It's like the female one who like tricks the guy, pretends. Like
where
with
he's got him in the basement or
with the
whatever.
feelers and everything. Yeah, because it knows that humans play off emotion, so it plays off its emotion. Like, because really one of the things I find dangerous too is like how you're saying it would self upgrade, self-simulate, self-replicate and stuff, so it would correct its errors and a lot faster than a human would. You know, it might take a human 80 years to do something in its life. And when, you know, a computer does, I mean, my Mac updates overnight with things that are whatever wrong with it when I put it in sleep mode, you know, let alone like actual, if it was like a person or something, you know. So as far as...
Do you think that's what we do when we go to sleep? Our brains reconfigure what we
No.
did wrong?
No, there would be a lot less people in jail. There'd be a lot less people committing stupid...
Well, why
so
why do you
true,
think
dude.
that though?
Errors.
What if your program was broken from the beginning? So every
Then
time
it's
you went to
broken.
bed, your brain would refix it to the broken calibration. So you would technically your brain would think you were being fixed, but you weren't
No,
because
I
it was
think
programmed to be not fixed.
But then that would take away your free will, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Because if your brain's like fixing itself or whatever, or thinking it's fixed, or like the computer's doing it.
You can only do so many crack rocks before your brain's like, yeah.
Well, what if drugs are kind of like viruses to your brain? Where viruses
Then
are
it's
to a
not the
computer,
program.
it's slowing it down, it's destroying it.
It's the virus.
It's adding things to it that aren't supposed to be there. It's multiplying pictures, it's just deleting files. Next thing you know, you're fucking running around the street butt naked, biting off people's ears or whatever.
Yep.
Your body almost kind of does do stuff like that, you know. You only can pretty much remember 150 people, and so you start popping in all these.
That's
new
not
people.
true. I remember 3,562 people. I can name every single one of them. Their birth dates, when they were born.
Who sit next to you in third grade?
Yuri, actually.
Oh.
Oh well, damn, dude, he's right. I guess you're part of the simulation. It's like it's a computer. It's a computer program.
My head just turns into a giant red ball. Meep, meep. They're onto us.
Fucking what are those things called? Those sleeper or what are the sleeper agent? The Russian ones, the cold ones. Just like you say the code word. Cold spaghetti.
Cold spaghetti.
Next
That'd be
thing you know.
horrible.
You're like all of a sudden.
Hey, you guys don't mind eating cold spaghetti, do you?
Иди сюда, привет. The boy. The boy.
Kill your friends.
The boy.
That would be crazy. If you had to have, like, let's say you were being coded as a Russian spy, what would be your secret word?
I wonder if do you think they'll let you pick?
It has to be a phrase.
It's probably like has to be something crazy, huh?
It's got to be something crazy like the red fox jumps at midnight, or something weird like that. Watch us like start triggering a bunch of
the satellite is in the cigarette butt. It's like what the or whatever.
What? That is weird,
dude. That's all you have to be. Because I was trying to think of like Russians with satellites, and I'm like, what else do they do? Well, they smoke.
It'd
cigarettes.
be cosmonaut or something, wouldn't it?
Or what do they call those guys? Are they cosmonauts? Or are they called?
Yeah, the astronauts
or the Russian ones? Are they called
cosmonauts?
Okay, that's how they say it in Russia.
Yeah.
Cosmonauta.
Comrade Cosmonaut Ikubarayo. I actually don't even know a Russian name.
Tomato.
Italian.
It's me, tomato.
It's like, yeah, they'll never trigger me because I have an Italian phrase. Now I live in Portugal.
I had heard like a thing about that with radio waves, like sending out. You know how once we started doing radio waves and FM, AM, all those things, they kind of just get sent out into space as well. So you know, technically,
aliens,
yeah, they were recording AM and FM radio. They could absorb it and hear it.
I don't think they'd be able to record that because it's like that satellite that NASA sent up. And then they forgot the language with the satellite?
Well, that's exactly what the thing. So say you send out AM, FM radios, say it's even us. We go up there and we catch it, and we catch an Italian AM, FM radio. Fucking might as well be just numbers. It's like, it's like, what the fuck kind of alien race is this, dude? Oh my god, it sounds like they're fucking... Something's going on. I bet they're shaking their fists in the air. It's just, I believe it, And...
Well, we'd have to be really dumb to understand the Italians.
So you just imagine that. So even like if an alien were to even pick up an FM or AM radio similar to us, if we were to pick up, hear this cosmic radiation background, how the fuck would we know what it is? You're just hearing bitty bitty blip 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 blip, coming from a planet of robots, and for all we know it, they're just. That sounds like just background noise, cosmic radiation background noise.
I think you'd be able to tell voices.
Would we, dude?
I think you would.
How would we know? We never met that alien race, though.
I don't think aliens even speak. I think they're telepathic.
Yeah,
I think you guys are both crazy.
If they were that smart, they'd have to stop wasting time with words.
Dude, there's
I feel like you would stop.
38
we'd have probably no
sextillion planets out there.
Dude, I feel like once those... I'm agreeing with Brian. I bet we'd be like a race of aliens that didn't give a shit about everything. Like... Fucking vanity, gossip, glam, all those things are gone.
They want to live a perfect life.
Everybody looks the same. They probably act the same. They just know that sex feels good, eating food feels good, having fun feels good, and then they don't need to know the other stuff.
Why would they have to have sex?
Reproduce.
What if they lived forever?
Then they'd live forever.
Then how the fuck do you get new ones?
They just clone each other.
What happens when they all start dying off time?
And the way they clone themselves is they take, let's say there's two, they have no sexes. There's no male, there's no female. And two of them are like, well, we want to create another one of us, and me and this other being want to have one made from us too. So they take some from one person, some from the other, and they make a clone of them too, but they mix their DNAs together to make another one.
So you know how they do that?
Cut it off.
They go butt to butt.
No, they do it in a laboratory.
Exactly.
Like they walk in there, they touch fingertips.
No, you don't.
Whatever.
know.
How do you know they're not like plants, dude? If they had to clone them, they just go into a room together and they but they're both whatever.
They both spray their buds,
cut off their dicks, and then fucking stick them in the ground, and let them grow, and then it grows into a new person, like how would a plant,
like a tree.
Yeah, you just cut off a little sprout and you put that in the dirt, give them a little water. a little tender loving care.
Yeah, and then let's
Like
say
cut your finger off, stick it in there. It's like Piccolo. It fucking grows another one. It's like, it's like, oh fuck that one up. And I lost my good finger. Fuck.
no, your finger would grow back.
Dude, I already like being an alien way better.
Me too. And then you have intergalactic spaceships, and you come across Earth, and you're like, these,
What a waste of time.
Yeah.
send them down an H-bomb. In their words, it's like the size of our moon.
That'd be so funny. It's like, boom, everyone just gets fucking high on heroin. They're like, boom, slow ride, fucking.
Slow rider.
Like, what the fuck? These little monkeys are like enjoying it. Everyone's like, blah. They're like, psycho little fucks are all on drugs. They're like, blah, blah, blah.
We all go crazy, start creating bombs.
That's
and
the worst.
send
That's
them
the
back
funny
up.
part about humans, dude. You probably do that shit. Like they'll be like, "We'll kill him with something," you know. Send that heroin down. It's like fucking maybe half the population would die because they never had it before. Bunch of like the freaks that are around there, all of a sudden they're like surviving. They're like, "Who the fuck are these ones?" Like, ah! You know, because there's always like that polar opposite where people are like, "I love golf," and someone's like, "I'll fucking kill you. I hate fucking golf." So you're like, "Oh my god, there's two opposites here." You know, it'd be like the same thing.
And then those ones that survive are like, their brains become super overstimulated. And they find out that the aliens are up there, so they spend the whole planet sends all of its nukes up towards the moon, hitting the moon into another trajectory orbit to spin it and hit the alien mothership with our moon.
I don't know about that. If everybody's addicted to heroin now,
You know, they're
Not
like,
it's
I think
concentrated.
all right, everybody, let's all
music,
put our money in a
music.
pile. We're gonna buy a lot of heroin.
we gotta pay these aliens for more heroin. Right here, fuckers. They're like, fuck you. Trying to get them to shoot another one down there.
Shoot another one, motherfucker! We fucking dare you!
That's how like how it starts, dude. They drug half of it, and then like a bunch of the ones are still left. Like, oh, and they're like, perfect, dude. We can come down, and they'd be like, look, we have technology. Here, we'll build a thing, and they build like pyramids and everything, and all the crackhead ones are left down there. Like, yay! And they leave, and they're like, man, we learned new technology, and they have these cool pyramids, and all the crackhead ones are like, and they start like breaking, fucking chiseling in the side of it and stuff like that, carving out their little thing, and taking out their little tools and ripping it to pieces, and they're like, and then that's how we have the pyramids, dude.
There was actually a pretty good, like, little short TV movie on Netflix about aliens coming down, and they abducted everybody on the planet, and they put everybody in little, like, 50-person or 100-person spaceships, and everybody's standing in a little red circle, and if you step off the circle, you die. And what the thing does is it lets you vote. The aliens put, like, little chips inside of people's hands, and you see a circle going around, and whenever you like close your hand, that circle highlights under somebody else, and that's your vote for that person to be killed next. So everybody in the room gets to vote on who gets to die. The person with the most votes, the aliens kill them, till it's down to the last person. Last person left in the room gets to live.
The fuck?
So it's I don't want to spoil it for you, but
So you want to be the last one? That's all I
You want
gotta
to
say.
start pushing people.
well, the aliens, the way they set
for
it up
ones.
is there's in every one of them there's pregnant woman, a couple children, there's military personnel, police officers, prisoners, regular people. Like just it's mixed between a whole bunch of people, famous people, everybody, and eventually the people inside those things figure out like what's going on, and that the computer is like picking who to die, and the people have a decision so they can like vote like, oh, you're old, you don't deserve to live, you know, I'm young.
Chiming in. You're a fucking shithead. You don't even know me.
Yeah, so basically like that, and then they pick on like, you look like you're in a gang or in a prison, so you don't deserve to live, so everybody votes for that person, and that person gets
Shitty.
killed.
Fucking judging books by covers.
Yeah, and then it gets down to the very last like 3 people. And do you guys want me to just spoil it for you?
Yeah,
Spoiler
is it a
alert.
game? Is it a real game or
Well,
is it a movie?
it's a movie, and then what happens at the end? There's like this like super cunning guy, he's like a weasel basically in my eyes, and there's like a couple of soldiers in there too,
Yeah,
and the
the finger
soldiers, like the time's ticking down, and the computer's like randomly about to select somebody because if nobody votes, the computer randomly votes and it just kills somebody. And one of the Marines is like, I'm just gonna do it. Like so he jumps off the platform and it shoots him. So it gives them more time. Every time somebody dies, it gives them like 30 seconds to pick another person. And at the end, there was a pregnant woman, a kid, a Marine, and some random guy.
The weasel.
The weasel. And the way it worked for him is he's like, okay, it came down, and the Marine's like, I'll just jump off and give you guys more time to vote. So he jumps off and gives him another minute. And the guy's like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. He's like, the two of you will be left last, and then the computer can like pick which are randomly. So like either the kid or the lady. So what he does is just before the computer like time runs out, he votes for the little kid.
Oh.
And the lady didn't vote, so the only person who got the vote was the little kid. So the computer shoots the little kid.
Oh.
And then it's between him and the other guy,
Yeah,
and
fuck
then
the kids.
It ends up being him being last alive because the computer ends up killing the. Oh no, he tricks the kid into. He's like, all right, kid. So what we're gonna do is we're both gonna step off at the same time. The computer's gonna kill us, and the lady's gonna live. So he's like 3, 2, 1, and as the kid steps off, he votes for the lady, and so the computer kills the kid and kills the lady, and he's the last guy left.
He's like, I'll be taking my reward.
But then the computer, it doesn't end. It starts spinning around again, and he's like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm the last one standing, but it also counted the little kid inside the lady.
Oh.
So then the guy had to vote for the little kid again.
Oh, at least he thought about that in time.
And then the computer, like, the drone drops him down onto Earth. And all the other people that, like, got out were pregnant women and little kids. And then the only other person down there was the weasel dude. Because the computers, like, there was different...
So the computer does what it wants anyway.
There was different groups.
Regardless of what
No. There was different groups of people, like, multiple groups of hundreds, right? And all the people that died in them, it eventually came down to the little kid or the little girl or the pregnant woman. So in the end, in those scenarios, either the pregnant woman made it out last or the little kid made it out last. And then it was just dropping them all off in the park. So when it dropped the weasel dude off in the park, he was surrounded by pregnant women and little kids.
Oh, because all the other people voted, so they would make sure to leave him there.
Were they all mad at him?
No, they didn't know what was going on. Like, they weren't 100% sure.
Hey,
So I was like, you motherfucker. Pretty smart, though.
And then he becomes the next Jesus.
He's like, and I'm going to become the president of the earth.
He's like, well, seeing as how I'm the only guy here.
Well, so you make it, I believe, I guess now aliens and Jesus are the same, because it looks like we're, as humans, just fucking
What makes you think they're not the same?
We're ants in a fucking ant box. Because I don't believe in either one. Well, I guess
Jesus was an alien.
Where did the alien come from?
Mars. Because he needed to come to Earth to get more candy bars.
Where did Mars come from?
Mars.
That's why I always get funny with some of those things, because like you can always keep going down the road. Okay, where did this come from? Where did this come from?
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, where does it stop? And then so you can be like religious and be like, it stops right here. We have heaven at the end. And it's well, why is there heaven? You know, and so. But,
I think in 2008 or 2007, did you know we had another moon? It was an asteroid that came in and got stuck in Earth's orbit for like 6 months.
don't we have another moon though? We have a rock that's like following, like it's in our orbit or something, isn't it?
Not close orbit, not like a satellite, like the moon, but I mean like...
Yeah, because I thought they were going to do a space elevator or something to it, or like use it for like a space elevator or like a connection.
I thought so too, but I thought that was like a spaceship, wasn't it? Like an alien spaceship, they found out.
Shit, I think a meteorite is an alien spaceship technically, right? Because actual 100% confirmed aliens that we do have, they pulled off bacteria off of different meteorites and things that they've retrieved, and they're like
Allegedly.
little bacterias. They're like you know, mushrooms and stuff where they survived a vacuum, and now they have them in a lab. You know, but of course, like most of the bacteria on our planet,
It sounds like an X-Files episode.
shit, you pull a fucking well, the bacteria that's like coming off the underneath the water, like Mariana Trench, that you know where the volcano things steam out, and it's like just crazy temperatures and all kinds of stuff. There's bacteria living on there that would survive on anywhere in space. You know,
Not in a vacuum.
Bacteria?
I think in a vacuum it loses its it gets dehydrated, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like certain spores, like mushrooms and like I guess earlier stages of bacteria, if they don't like die off, they can survive vacuum.
I don't know why I love mushrooms so much, dude. Like if you ask me,
I love them too.
I think I
dude.
know why. I
Crazy
think I know
dreams.
why.
no, I'm talking
Stone
about
ape
like
theory, huh?
shiitake mushrooms. Not
No, we know what mushrooms.
Yeah, we know.
Not
Got you loud and clear, dude.
shrooms.
Mushrooms.
no, like I'm talking about like pizza
One kind of
topping
mushroom.
mushrooms, dude.
Still-
I like a piece of
Psilocybes.
cow poo. Let's flip that thing
I like
over.
some Mario
Silly.
mushrooms, the white and red ones or whatever the fuck they're called.
Anascaria.
Anascaria.
Those fuck you up. I've never like tripped off of those, but supposedly they fuck you up. People, they get them here in Utah. People like crush them up like natives and shit would smoke it. That was like some of the things they'd use for like peace pipe shit.
Mushrooms? Like dried mushrooms?
The Anascaria, the red and white one. That like Mario looking one. Yeah.
Where'd
What?
you learn that?
there's this thing on Vice called Hamilton's. Yeah, YouTube. It's on Vice. It's called like Hamilton's Triptopia or something. And he goes just tons of different places and tries a bunch of different drugs. He fucking goes and like trips off of like frog venom and shit in the woods, you know?
That would be scary, dude. The stuff they use for darts, like killing animals, that'd be so sketchy.
I would love to try some of that shit, though. I've always like watched some of those old rituals that tribes and like a lot of those rituals where they have for like manhood and shit.
Why don't you try the freaking manhood glove in Africa?
That's what I was with the fire ants.
Are you fucking kidding?
Well, I was like thinking about that shit. I'm like, what the fuck do we have for this? You know, I'm like, wouldn't you want to try some of those? Like,
we have high school. That's manhood.
I had one where they like,
high school.
Dude. There was one where they had these guys.
You could survive high school in Salt Lake City. You're good.
That ain't shit, dude. In high school, fucking,
Yeah,
I hardly showed up, and I mean, I showed up each time, but I hardly put any effort into it. Fucking graduated 4.0. It's like, dude, you didn't have to do anything. You just be there.
Damn, I'm surprised how I almost failed then. I was like missing a credit. Some of my books I had to pay fees on. People were like, we didn't even know you were still alive.
Mm-hmm. Missing a credit. Chick seminary?
Huh?
Did you take seminary?
What the fuck is that?
Like that Mormon class?
No.
Yeah, don't lie to me, dude. Cool.
Why would I want to purposely brainwash myself?
Take a
An
Mormon.
easy A.
Yeah.
Easy A.
Easy A.
No.
Take where they go teach you just a handful of select special ones. Make sure you're...
Dude.
We got the really nice ones. This story right here, this one right here. This is the one you want to take. This one you don't... This story, he was mad in this. And I mean, fucking every dog has their day, right? You don't want to live... You know, God smite he had that, blah, 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 right? All right. Oh, look at this. Look at it change from water to wine. Baby, we're partying, you know? It's like, oh, cool. Tell that story. Religion sounds cool. Not like Job. Oh, hey, Jesus, you know, or hey, God, I think these people don't believe in you. Whatever, man. I'm going to fucking kill this cool guy's family and destroy his entire farm and fuck him in the ass and he'll still love me. And it's like, oh, he did. And then the devil, oh, looks like you're right. See you later. And one guy fucking gets his family taken, his farm destroyed. He's fucking everything destroyed. And it's like, oh, I still love God. And he's like, see, I exist. It's like, oh, we exist as toys. Mm-hmm. God's hand farm, you know? It's like, what a great story, you know? Thank you.
Dude, that's why I kind of want to meet some people that were in the religion and left.
Xmo page.
I don't want to talk on the fucking internet. I'm talking about like flesh and blood. I want to see them and I want to hear their stories. Because like online, I could go on there and be like, I was Mormon and I fucking went to, middle of Kuwait for my what did they do that thing? Mission.
Oh yeah.
And I converted like 1 million people, and then I went to El Salvador. And I learned Salvadorian or Spanish, whatever they speak down there. I forgot it now, though. And then I came back here, and I'm a great missionary. My elder... What's above an elder?
Apostle.
I'm an apostle. I'm one of the 4. I think that's real. Is that real still?
Yeah, that's
the
how
4.
They do it. I think they have 6. No, it's 4. It's a handful, but they get the fucking best
8.
spots. They have...
front row
full-on
at the
penthouses.
games.
Yeah, they have full-on penthouses. These fools get like.
The only thing I like about their religion is like they can have more wives. I think it's pretty sweet. If they can have like 6 wives.
That's FLDS, right?
Yeah, I think we were talking about that too, but that's where I was like coming up with. I always have an issue with like that, where it's like FLDS compared to LDS. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like they're the fundamentalists. You know, they still believe in polygamy and that. You know,
hey, like, quit using that word. It's called awesome family ties.
It's called winning.
Oh, which one of my wives is bitching tonight?
Yeah, I feel like just I got a couple things I would like to talk to you about. I gotta run across the street. Don't mind me. Hey, I was wondering if you could. I'm going across the street. It's like,
giggity giggity. That's how it would be.
I always feel like
giggity giggity.
Well, if it's like Big Love, dude, to fucking have a circle, but the backyard's connected in one giant backyard, you just like slip out the back door, fucking walk over to the next house.
Giggity giggity.
But like even with those fundamentalist things, when it goes to those, it's for me. Where's the other book? You know? Okay, we're different. We practice a different religion, but it's the exact same book, same religion, same shit. But it's, we don't read that part. Joseph Smith, 14-year-old, fucking 5, 6, 7, tier 1, whatever that means. Just put on your jammies, fucking walk through this, give me your money, fucking thank you. See you next week.
10%, dude, of my paycheck, I'd be pissed. Imagine that.
It's fucking interesting to me.
Dude, I'd be like, guess how much you, like, oh my God.
What about me? What about that 10%? I'd like to take my family to Disneyland. No. We have to have a nest egg. You have to save. Don't enjoy life.
What's a nest egg? Is that a real thing?
That's yeah. You nest and you save that egg. An egg in the nest.
Oh,
Like
is that what they use?
It's like an old term. Like two bushes in a hen or whatever.
2 birds with 1 stone?
Hotter than a $2 pistol. Yeah, $2. Oh, dude. Side note: I fucking shot 2 clay pigeons with 1 bullet. Remember that
That's
shit?
a fucking lie.
I shot the shell and then I cocked it and the shell flew out and landed in the box of pigeons and it broke another pigeon.
Damn.
I was like, yeah, it's Super One, dude.
Yeah. I destroyed 12 clay pigeons with 1 shell.
I destroyed a whole box.
Just shoots the
dropped
box
it.
on the ground. Drop the box on it. Done.
Good game.
Come back and find those. But even, I guess, with the religion and the God thing going, I mean, I feel if there was a God, because it always does go back where it's like, okay, well, where'd he come from? If there's God, who's God's God, Well, if aliens brought him, well, who's the alien's alien, Where's the alien's God? And, so it always, I feel, kind of will trickle back to something else, either.
Here's one. I got one for you. You ever watch the anime Trigun?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if Adam and Eve were 2 spaceships? One spaceship, Adam, filled with all males. Eve, spaceship filled with all females. Like hundreds of thousands. And the spaceships crash land on Earth because they're seeding it, right? So there's a spaceship before them that comes to Earth. Habitable, everything's here, oxygen, water,
Seems risky.
everything.
I don't know why they just want to
Did
send
they make
half and
humans because of the planet? Or were the humans coming
Humans
from a different
were
place?
flying from a different place.
Okay.
But it was scouted out before. So, a scout drone came flying through here, scanned all the planets.
half. Oh, kind of like
Earth is the most habitable.
Interstellar.
Wally.
You kind of like
okay.
Wall-E.
Okay.
And the drone finds it, sends a signal back to the mothership. The mothership sends out 2 seed ships, Adam and Eve. They come flying over
It is
here
just like Wall-E, huh?
on a trajectory path. Land somewhere in the Fertile Crescent or wherever they landed. And those spaceships are used as
Asia, right?
somewhere, I'm not sure where, Middle Egypt or some shit like that. And the people spread out, and from those spaceships, that's how you get multiple family lines, multiple DNA splits, because the spaceships both had thousands of people on them, so they can mix and mingle between them.
I feel like they should have done half guys and half girls in one, and then half guys and half girls in another, and sent them on 2 opposite sides. And then just in case, you have your 50
No, you'd want
chance.
them. You'd want them to both be from the same place because they're disease.
Get disease at the same time.
Yeah, because that's what happened. That's why, the white people. Oh, you can't see my air quotes, but when they came over from Spain, and they spread all the diseases to down in South America, and then up through Mexico, up into North America, it said it killed off 80% of the indigenous people because of the diseases they brought with them. Because the people that were living in the North American side were separated from the people living in the European side for so long that the people in the European side, when they developed toilets and shit and sewage, it was so bad that a lot of the diseases that came from animals like cows and chickens and stuff spread to us a lot quicker because there was more people in a concentrated area and there was sewage and shit moving around everywhere. So the diseases from mad cow and all that crap, that the Black Plague and stuff is from rats. So, and it's not supposed to jump from animals to people, but when it's in such a, I guess when you have so many people in one concentrated area, one of those 100,000 people could be exposed to that disease from that animal. So that person gets it, and then that person lives really close to you, and then it jumps from me to you, and then so forth.
It's like the start of religion right there. That's why don't eat the swine.
Basically, yeah. And then all the freaking people in Europe get that disease, and then only the ones that don't have it or don't die from it survive, but they still carry it. And then they get on a big old flagship and sail on down to Spain, and then they spread it amongst the Mayans and the Aztec people.
Did they know what it was? Was it smallpox or was it
was a
Black
bunch of
Plague?
dude. It was a bunch of diseases. It was 9 different
Probably,
diseases.
I guarantee it was just a common cold.
It was syphilis.
Yeah, fucking ammonia.
It was a lot. It was. I think they said it was 9 different things that
common
spread.
cold, the flu.
I wonder why. And then let's say if aliens came down, and because I believe that either we as humans died off as a race and came back and found a lot of stuff.
How many times do you think that's happened?
Shit, infinite amount of times I could see it happen.
On Earth?
Yeah.
No. How many times do you think it has happened?
Yeah.
Like we've gotten to a great civilization, like
At least one for sure. I would say at least one for sure because like with the
we're
pyramids,
the top, the Jetson status, and then a fucking meteor.
yeah, or something like that. Because like with the pyramids, you know, let's say like even if it was the foundation, like the beautiful, you know, everything was all metal and perfect. The only thing left would be like the bricks, you know, whatever. And
Or the pyramids, apparently.
Yeah.
well,
like,
the
say the
pyramids of
stone.
Giza were
They're
a
made of
lot
stone.
older than
Then King Tut.
all of them, yeah, like they're.
Well-
The very, very first writing that they have of like the pharaohs, his very first pharaoh, in his thing, he said he unburied the Sphinx. So like and apparently there's like 138 pyramids inside in Egypt. There's not just 3. There's like a gazillion of them. And so now they're finding even more of them. And apparently, so they believe there could be up so far. They have to uncover them, but maybe 180 of them.
The one that I really like is that one that's inside of like a channel, like it's surrounded by cliffs. And there's just an entrance.
Oh, yeah, with
That
like the
thing's
dudes
gnarly.
or whatever on the thing. Yeah, that is a fucking trip, the way that... Because that kind of stuff is crazy where, like, it's, like, cut out of the stone. Because even, you know, you hear that Joe Rogan joke where he's like, okay, we create these massive things, these beautiful things, and at the time they had completely flat panels on them that were smooth, you can't even stick a razor blade through. And then they're like, all right, let's fucking scratch our names on the side of the fucking building, you know? It's like who builds the trade towers and then, like, gets their hammer and nail. KJ was here. You know, it's like no one's going to do that. And so that's where, like, the idea that someone had helped them because there was the same people that were the Egyptologists that did the research on it. They had tried to make a similar pyramid. So they took all the copper tools and they took all this stuff and they had tried pounding the blocks off with just stones. And I mean, it took them like 6 to 7 weeks to carve out one stone. And they tried to trim them up with bronze, with their bronze tools, and they destroyed every single one of them. And like after 5 minutes, and so they said it would have taken
And these are
thousands.
professionals, huh?
Yeah, so it would have taken thousands of copper chisels to even do it because they just fucking get destroyed. Between the precision, you know, and so they even tried doing the wood breaking and different techniques that they used. Nothing could do it, and it was
Machu Picchu, that one that's clear
that's the
fuck up
craziest
on
one
top.
because they're like that's the where they kind of started doing it. But yet all these Egyptologists in their mind they're like, how do they do it? We're gonna have to try another thing. Because I was watching Graham
fucking
Hancock's thing on it, you know,
lasers and
because he was like, maybe they didn't fucking do it, you know, because he's like, okay, well I guess we'll figure out how else they did it. It's like, this is the thing that you say. This is what they have. This is what they use. They said they used. And here, this thing, you know, all these tools, and you can't replicate it. It's like, maybe it is something different. Let's try something different. And then in their mind, well, it'll come around. You know, where really you go back to those conspiracy things where it's almost... They don't want to destroy the narrative. You know, this is what's taught in school. We make money off this. We make millions of dollars being taught as we're Egyptologists that my theory is this. You know, and you have someone else come in, oh, your theory's shit. You know, actually it's way, way older. It's way all this stuff. And all that knowledge and all that skill you brought is now dog shit. And, I'm not important anymore.
What if there is a simple way of doing that? We just don't know it.
like a
Stupid simple way.
floss and dirty water.
Yeah, or something. Like,
That-
seriously, like a wet rope or something, and they just run the wet rope with dirty water on each side with sand being pushed through it.
They used a bronze
And
thing. They used a
cowpea.
bronze. They made like bronze saws and laid sand. They made steel saws to fucking speed it up. Everything was destroyed. The bronze saw that they used, like they even laid sand to try and make it cut and like in the same swipes so they made like a 1/16 of an inch. And so in order to make like in one day you would have made I think it was 1/4 of an inch deep. So like they would have had to take. I can't remember what they said they had to do with it, but then they took, because there's an old style of actual people doing it, and they do use like a saw and water, metal saw. So they tried doing the same thing, and they still can't replicate the speed. Because supposedly the pyramids were built in 20 years, is what is written down on the tombs.
Well, when you have a gravitational gun that removes gravity from a certain area, yeah, you can.
Half of it's made of granite. It took fucking the temple 80 years, dude, and that was like not even 100
Well,
years
they had
ago.
to move it, right?
Yeah, they moved it all from granite and stuff, and then they also had to rebuild it. But like,
Because they built
80
it on
years,
a
so-
sand base, right?
Yeah,
I
built on
think
sandstone.
that's total bullshit.
Dude, all the kids, the people that started it, they had to make their kids finish it. It became like a legacy thing.
Well, I think, this is my theory, they started, air quotes, building it, but they built like a basement, like a humongous basement, some sort of something.
That's where they stored all
And
their
then they're
porn.
like, all right, now let's build the real one.
Ah,
then they
it is
built
all
the
built on a
real one.
huge tunnel system all underneath that.
And And that's where the
Wait,
second gold plates are, right?
The pyramid?
I can see that.
Basement?
No, the temple
The church.
Oh.
that had to be rebuilt.
Yeah, they have a whole thing, and they have a vault up in Big Cottonwood, just off from who knows what the fuck's in there. All their tithings, they
do you
get
think
10%.
the president can go in there?
No, fuck no. Oh, president of the church or
No, the president of the United
fuck
States.
no. The religions, they don't pay taxes at all. They are so far off from the government. They'll be like, nah. Like the Vatican,
think
dude.
they
The
are the
Vatican's their own country. They'll be like, bitch,
That's
fuck
so true.
you. Especially like with people here and stuff, like it was a separation from church and state and shit. It's like such bullshit because, you know, you look at this huge thing with the Mormon porn, and all of a sudden they have this huge thing where now Mormons are saying it's a state of war on mental health instead of just this fact of mental health being a state of war.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, it's porn. Porn's destroying all this stuff. That's why the women are asked to do more. Like all these women are like, we have to do this now. We have to do this now because of all our guys watching porn. And apparently, like while I was watching the thing,
Apparently.
fucking Mormon porn's huge. Like people watch them doing all this kind of stuff where they're having like sex in their underwear and they're doing their veil and stuff.
For real, I've never heard of that.
Me either, dude. And they have them like
Give
a
me a
black
link
market
for research.
It's called Mormon Girls. Just kidding. I don't know. Straight
No,
up.
LDS singles,
Dude,
right?
this is like the year 2012. You don't have to pay for porn ever. You can go into like 10 different fucking like tube sites that are like YouTube and be like, "Blah-blah-blah," and then there you go, dude.
Boom.
But they'll even have it
Fapology.
where they have their little like Adam and Eve giant leaf things that look like aprons, but they're like giant leaves, and you get them only through passing through the veil, and they're super special, you know, type of shit. The lady in the
They're
thing,
+5 magic.
yeah, you can fucking 10 plus prayer.
10 plus prayer.
Fucking dude, they had to like have a black market ship for that. She's like, yeah, I was kind of like, she's like, wait, there's a black market for Mormon underwear, and the lady's like, there's a black market for everything, you know, and it's just a trip, you know, because all the people, at least on that one, all the people from they're filming it and doing all this shit, they're all Mormon, and they have Mormon, I guess, beliefs, but they wear all like stuff so you can't see who they are, and they just bring in all these porn actors to Salt Lake, and then just fucking film all these porns here.
I think that's what I'm going to be for Halloween. A Mormon porn actor.
So I was thinking about, I would like to just be in the jammies. Just fucking wearing the Jesus jammies. What are you doing? I'm just making my way to heaven.
Making my way downtown, walking fast.
These underwears got
Chafing
very
my
breezy.
ass.
I hate, like, I don't want to like talk shit, you know, because everyone's got like fucking.
I think it's
I
a little
do.
too late for that.
Well, they got their own beliefs and everything, but even like that whole scheme. I mean, if you can't laugh about that, like to say, oh yeah, we do something crazy, but it's
I'm
mine.
saying right
so
now, I
fuck
mean,
it.
I know Mormon people that go to the Book of Mormon, the
the play.
Broadway show or whatever. They go to it and they just have a good old fashioned laugh, you know.
That's
and
the way it
it's
should
like-
be.
It's
Wait,
nice.
what's the
It's
Broadway
refreshing.
Book of Mormon? What's that?
Trey Parker and Matt Stone,
Yeah,
the
South Park,
South Park creators, they made a play.
Oh.
called Book of Mormon.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, one of them's a RM. I think it's either Trace. One of them was a returned missionary, and that's why, like in all their South Parks, they have like Mormons being like in tier 1, like the heaven. They're all the ultimate religion or whatever.
That's one thing I did find kind of interesting when I talked to a couple of Mormons. Usually when the guys go, they on their missions and they come back, they're completely different people, if not Mormon anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because they see the world in a different view, and then
I guess that is like a rite of passage, right? Like
Yeah.
we were speaking about, like the glove of fire and the condom of death.
Yeah, fucking
Wait, what?
condom of death. It's like a little guillotine. If you don't fucking lay down the hammer,
When did you guys talk about that?
just barely. It's anything. We made it up.
Okay, I'm like,
Anyways,
dude, was I
no,
not
if
here
you-
for that
if you-
podcast?
Admir's all upset. What?
He's like, get out! I'm gonna watch out for these fucking things every day. I can.
But yeah, that's the rite of passage for that.
It kind of really is if you think about it. Hey, you're 18 years old. Here, go do something for 2 years. You know, put your life. I always make a joke on it. You know, I'm like, these guys, okay, you fucking losers, get a job. You're gonna do shit for 2 years. You know, they're not going to school or doing anything. It's a fucking deadbeat. But you know, in the religion, you did something big.
They're definitely
You talked to people, you know, and you just walked around a neighborhood for fucking 2 years.
like car salesman.
Yeah, you know, it's like basically if I went and walked around Peru in fucking tire slippers for 2 years, people are like, you fucking hippie douchebag. But if I go walk around in little tiny Zappos, you know, whatever, my little fucking name tag and bow tie, then I'm like, I'm doing, you know, right by. But in that same thing, that is a really big thing because they don't talk to their family. You don't get to really have 2 really good years of your life when you're young, coming into like getting for me, it was funner to fucking drink and party before I turned 21. You know, kind of like
Whoa,
experience.
allegedly. Drink.
allegedly you fucked up before that, but you know, and that's a big thing. You like, hey, I'm going to donate 2 good young years of your life where you're kind of forming and like deciding.
Yeah, but you're
what
in another country. You're learning another language. You're hanging out with people of that country. You're learning the thing. That's pretty cool. Unless they're like, your mission will be served in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, or say you're in Arizona, dude. You walk in Phoenix, Arizona. You're walking down the street and burning your ass off. Fucking go to 10 houses, all of them, shut the door in your face, make it to your last one, and then fucking chase you off with the dog. Go home, you get your first 5 minutes of Facebook. You click on there, and the girl you used to date's now got a new boyfriend. They're at Topgolf, and they're probably going to get married. And you're like, oh my God, she told me she was going to wait for me, you know, but...
They would wait for them, though.
That guy
they
that she was
that guy that they're hanging out with at Topgolf.
Why? That guy, Topgolf guy, is...
He's not Mormon, though.
Oh, okay. I was saying, unless he came back from his Mormon mission.
And they can't go through the fucking veil together holding hands, so that guy gets fucked.
And the girl gets to experience all that stuff, and the guy doesn't.
She gets to experience Topgolf with the freaking guys. And then when my hubby comes home from...
Sometimes she gets to experience a little more.
You know, she goes,
right out
of the
there.
Holy Spirit.
Oh, but
and today's podcast is brought to you by
Holy Spirit,
the LDS
Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
Or
join us.
What is he called?
Just send in 10% of your paycheck to our donation tab.
Yeah, dude, I guess with that, who wants to say the closing prayer? Let's go home.
All right.
Just fucking
rub-a-dub-dub. Let's get some grub.
Dear kind Heavenly Father, we thank you for YouTube, and we thank you for all the support for watching our
PornTube
YouTube
as well. Throw that one in there.
We thank you for going to our Amazon web link and clicking on our stuff to help support the pod. I don't know how you'd say a prayer, like as an ad.
Amen to that.
But yeah, I mean, on that note, I'll just wrap it up and just, if you want to find anything Lost Mind, you know where to go. And if you wouldn't mind helping out supporting the pod, anything you buy through the Amazon links, or if you buy a shirt, or...
You don't have to buy our stuff. If you want to buy...
No, you do.
Your dog food, just go through our link and buy whatever you need to buy. Just try to use in our link.
Yeah, spread the love. We'll try not to talk so much shit on your religion, but if you don't got it, then hell yeah, high five. So, yeah, thanks a lot. We'll catch you next time.
Bye, Felicia.